Store today. That's KBLA.store for all our official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580, at 20% off, but only during the holiday season. Happy holidays.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
I know he see me looking at you, and I know you looking at me. Well, damn. DJ, won't you play this kind of love song? She really needs to hear this freaking love song. She's looking at me kind of hard. I can tell the things ain't right on the home front. What she really needs is a G like me to beat it, beat it, beat it. I can see how you want it, baby. Wish your man wasn't here with you, baby. I can see curiosity. Got you wanna try me. Homeboy can't please ya. On this wall in the open, baby. You and Kev, the crowd was watching, baby. You want it, I know it. Gotta know she
Gotta let the chorus rock one more time.
Won't you play this girl a love song? She really needs to hear this freaking love song. Look at you. She's looking at me kinda hard. I can tell the things ain't right on the home front. I know. What she really needs is a G like me to beat it.
Welcome back into hour 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Jamie Foxx one more time. Happy birthday to him. That's one of those ones. That's one of those ones. Listen. Has Jamie Foxx ever done a tour? Like, I know he's done a comedy tour, but has he ever done a musical tour?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I wonder, I mean, it's been a while since he's released anything musically, right? Like a really long time.
You know, in my mind, he was just doing that for fun. Just because he was a good singer, not that he was like trying to be like an actual like serious singer.
No, he was taking it seriously for a minute.
Well, I think he took it serious because he knew that he could and was good at it, not that he was like trying to like pivot
Really
from
be-
acting to music. Even though his music was his first love, and he said that, right? He was, but I think that because the acting kind of took front seat and that became the vehicle, it was just like, I can do this. It's just like me and hosting, right? I write books. That's what people know me for. And it was just a natural pivot. Like, I can write them. I'm good at it. I can go back to it, right? I can be a bestseller, but I'm doing this right now. Same thing.
Okay. I just kind of thought about it. I was like, I don't know, like outside of like, that time when he hosted the ESPYs or just, little where he's jumped out on stage with people at different stuff. Like, I don't think that he's ever really done like,
He was just
show.
in that Ray Charles character and had to finish getting it out.
No, because the music came before that.
It did.
So, I mean, and when he was working with, like, because if you listen, especially to his earlier stuff, you could hear Tank, you could hear the influence of Tank and, the background
He's got
and things
some
like that.
good songs, actually.
He really does.
Nice
He's a good
catalog.
That's one of my little sleeper joints, deep album cuts.
I like
So,
Jamie.
thank you, Andy. Shout out to you. Listen, we're going to continue on these trending topics and headlines. So, since we were talking about Miss Oprah, and we know The Color Purple comes out in a few weeks, and you guys have to let me know what you think about it. I will, I guess next week, give my review of it because I've seen it. And, well, I mean, I could just say it now. But why not? I think that you should check it out. This is a no spoiler review, even though we know the story. But the musical version is a little different from the original. As far
Is
as
this the musical version?
it's a musical, yeah.
Oh, wasn't clear on that. I thought it was just a remake of the first
No,
one.
it's a musical.
So it's like basically the Broadway adaptation on film.
Yes.
Without all the sets and stuff. So it's like the movie but with songs.
Correct.
Got it.
So, but there's some differences slightly to the story, some changes that were made to it. But, it's entertaining. Danielle Brooks, who plays Sophia. She was Orange is in the New Black,
Yes.
Peacemaker on Max.
I like the cast. They're all,
Incredible.
yeah.
No, but Danielle
Is
Brooks.
Spielberg back directing it again?
No, he's not directing it. It is his name is Bays. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but he is the same director that did Beyonce's Black is King.
Oh, okay.
So
So a young black guy.
yeah,
Okay.
Nigerian African.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that means it's gonna be some high punch drama in there. You know, those Nigerians, they get down in their films and shows.
I mean,
I'll be watching the Nigerian movies on Netflix.
you know what I'm saying? Like
They be popping.
there's this show that was on Prime called Riches,
Yeah,
and it got canceled after one season. That was really good.
I
was
didn't watch
sad.
that.
It was good. You should. Well, I guess if you feel like it, go check it out before they take it away. But you're not gonna get no resolution because they canceled it. But it was
Yeah.
good. I enjoyed season one. So Taraji was sharing. I talked about last night how the studio for the part of Shug, they wanted either Beyonce or Rihanna. And Miss Oprah was like, no. So Taraji, Academy Award nominated, Emmy Award nominated Taraji, had to audition for the role and like seriously won it out. And so she said, I've been getting paid and I've been fighting tooth and nail every project to get that same freaking fee, quote. And it's a slap in the face when people go, oh, girl, you work all the time. You're always working. Well, I have to. It's not because I wish I could do 2 movies a year and that's that. I work because the math ain't mathing and I have bills. I've been doing this for 2 decades, and sometimes I get tired of fighting because I know what I do is bigger than me. I know that the legacy I leave will affect somebody coming up behind me. My prayer is that I don't want these black girls to have the same fights that me and Viola and Octavia, we're out here thugging it. Otherwise, why am I doing this? For my own vanity? There's no blessing in that. I've tried twice to walk away from the business, but I can't because if I do, how does that help the ones coming up behind me? So she said she auditioned with a ferocity that she hadn't before. She had coaching. She swallowed her ego, she said, and went in. She had on the perfect dress, setting the scene, and that she was extremely proud of what she did in that room. She wore a period look. She said it was frilly, it moved a lot, and had a lot of hardware on it, so it had shine, and that she became Shug Avery. And she said it worked.
I like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with hard work and dedication, even when you reach what other people deem as a pinnacle of success. Because some people will say, you know, they'll name off of all the Taraji projects. Oh, you had Empire, you were on this, and some people, it's not to say that it's not enough, but you don't know what somebody else's measure of success truly is, and the fact that she's still dedicated to the craft and will still put in the hard work, even though she's Taraji P. Henson, says everything about her ethic.
She said, so Oprah was initially skeptical of her as well. And she said not because she didn't think that Taraji had the acting chops. She didn't think that she could sing. She wasn't aware of that aspect in her arsenal. So you guys let me know what you think. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into this Jonathan Majors topic. Have you seen the video?
I have not.
You need to see the video.
Listen,
You need to see the video. I want you all to see the video. I'm going to retweet the video on my Twitter right now, and you need to watch the video in order to prepare for this next segment. So you got a little homework to get into, class. When we come
Let's see
forward, we're
this.
going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate you. Thank you for turning us on this year. Happy holidays.
Wow! Mommy's kissing Santa Claus!
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine, but how do you maintain the beard hair you already have? The King C. Gillette Beard Thickener helps to reduce patchiness and strengthens hair's resilience to breakage. Apply the King C. Gillette Beard Thickener daily to see a thicker and fuller beard in just 14 days. It's highly scented with King C. Gillette's signature scent. Just trim, wash, and soften. With King C. Gillette.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we've been talking about the Jonathan Majors alleged domestic violence situation for about 9 months now. I guess it happened last March. And evidence has started, the trial has started, and evidence related to it has began to come out. So we discussed his comments where he told Grace that she should be more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. And I was kind of like, what, dude? But now the video footage, as well as the audio of this conversation, has been released, right? And, you know, it has some people questioning if people were much too quick with their judgment regarding Jonathan Majors. I don't know. We're going to have to decide. I mean, the judge has finally allowed it to be released to the public, obviously, so TMZ, blah, blah, blah. You can see it everywhere on social media. And we've kind of heard the breakdown and description of the events of the video, but to actually see it is something completely different. So what you see is Jonathan and Grace standing outside of a black SUV truck. Jonathan attempts to place Grace back in the truck.
That's not what I saw.
And he picks her up and, you know, is trying to force her inside. But she ends up out of the truck anyway. And then they both walk towards a side street where something happens and Jonathan tries to escape. And
You're not telling it right.
I'm not telling it right.
No.
Well, you take over.
Because this is why I'm laughing at you, because that is not what happened. He tried to get away from her.
He did.
He was booking it, baby.
He was.
He
but
was
I
running.
hadn't got to that
No,
part yet.
no. You take it too long. He was running a marathon through the streets of New York down Avenue. I said this last time. When he first got into this, I said that man was probably running down Avenue of the Americas, and he was at marathon speed, and she was hauling right behind him. She is athletic. She lifts weights. She plays basketball. She was ready for that chase, okay? He was trying to get away from her. He was like, look, you tripping. I call foul. I got to get away from you because you trying to set me up for the okie doke. So he got out. They went on the sidewalk. She was like, nah, come here. He was like, nah, I'm getting back. So he pulled back from her. He hauled off, and the chase was on. The funniest part of the video,
High pursuit,
when she was jogging behind him, and there was a crowd of people just milling on the sidewalk talking, and he darted past them because she was on hot pursuit. Something is wrong with that woman, and I don't blame him for trying to haul and get away from her, because there is no woman in her right mind. I don't care how good it is or how much he's. Baby,
definitely
you are not running 5 blocks to chase anybody. You are a mad woman on hot pursuit. Lock her up.
So, in addition to that, they also released the footage.
She's insane.
When she, I guess, passed out in his closet when he wasn't at home.
She was tired from running. She ran 5 blocks. If I ran for 5 blocks chasing somebody, I would be tired too. The first break I got, I would break down and collapse anywhere and just lay out like I was in prostrate praying to God, because that's what happens when you run 5 blocks behind somebody on an adrenaline rush because you mad and crazy and you want to control the situation and try to set somebody up for the okie doke. This is what happens. You run and you collapse.
Well, we also now have the audio that she recorded of their conversation, where he was saying to her to be more Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama like.
Nope.
Now, on the surface, it's like, Jonathan, what? Come on. You think you king? But in listening to it, okay, so let me say this. Let me back up. I always knew what he was trying to say in saying that, right? Conduct yourself accordingly. I'm a public figure, therefore
Right.
you are too. Keep it tight, keep it right.
She didn't
Don't be
understand
sloppy, right? I get that is what he was trying to say. But I still think it's a little bit gaslighting and funny to be like, I'm a great man, like the civil rights leader that, led the nation as far as a nonviolence movement.
Listen, if he was
the
going
first black president.
If he was going to refer to her as somebody famous, he should have called her Peggy Lipton, okay? Peggy Lipton was down for the cause back in the day. She marched. She understands what it's like to be with a high-profile African-American man. He said he should have said, I need you to be more like Peggy Lipton. When you with somebody,
she probably doesn't know who that is.
Speak the people's language.
Do you think she knows who Peggy Lipton is?
Of course she is.
No,
she's
not even 30.
She is a well-off socialite Caucasian woman. They all know each other.
She's a stylist. Peggy Lipton was popular in the 60s.
She had a conversation with her grandma. They all know each other. She know who Peggy Lipton is. If I know who she is, she know who she is.
Pretty Brown Mimi says, why do some black men try to make non-black partners emulate black women? I don't think the idea was for her to emulate a black woman at all. I don't think we're going to play it so you can hear the context, but I don't think that him choosing those 2 women, I don't believe. My problem with it, and I don't really have a problem, so that's like a stretch utilizing that word, but my sort of what with it is, you're not Martin Luther King, dog. Calm that down.
No.
But I think he was just saying, as far as what they were trying to build and portraying a solid image out in public. But let's listen and see what you think.
Yeah.
Do you really know, baby? Do you really?
Yes.
Then how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan? I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is gonna be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No, you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King, You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama. Barack Obama's wife.
I know, I'm not, I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right? If I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm not saying I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do that.
I'm sorry.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, babe, let's just go to bed. Which I said, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not hungry, blah, 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 blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on. You know what I mean? Fine. I can take that.
So listen. Uh-oh, Andy.
What's up with women recording their issues with their partner? I'm tired of that.
So, I mean, obviously she had a plan or something that she was, considering doing. I don't know if it's just threatening him, like, hey, I got this, you better get in line. Or if it was, I'm going to save this for later in case I need it one day. What I will say, though, is his conversation definitely gave daddy vibes, that was lecturing. And I feel like at a certain point before this point in your relationship, you had to have recognized that you can't daddy your partner and that this isn't going to bode well, right? But, of course, sometimes these things take time. I don't understand why she thought this would be damaging for him. Now, is it a little condescending? Yes. But I don't think it makes him look like he was emotionally dishonest with her or being manipulative. He was like, this is the plan I'm on. I told you about it. I'm trying to, be a star. You can't be out there being drunk. No comments?
Oh, yeah, I have comments.
It's your turn.
Oh, okay. This is all stupid to me because this is entrapment. This is...
From her part?
Oh, yes. It was clear when I'm glad that the tape came out because when you yank and try to get back from somebody and you are very clear in your body language of get away from me, you've already realized that you're at a point of no return in your relationship and you're trying to remove yourself. So I'm glad that he ran.
I am too. Yeah, I agree.
Run far, okay? And I just want people to make better choices in dating people, okay? And the last relationship that I was in, right, it took me about 1.5 years before I start bringing my close friends around into the situation, right? Because things get convoluted. You got to make sure people are on the up and up before you just bring them around, because, anything could happen. So I made a good choice. I don't ever have to feel like I'm embarrassed or anything like that. But when you start seeing, you got to screen people a little bit more. You can't just throw them into the mix because this behavior, had she gone through proper screening and vetting, you would have saw that she was a drunk banshee who was sleeping on couches, just acting crazy out here, displaying reckless behavior. You see that at some point during the dating phase. So I don't know what this is or how long they've been dating or whatever, but we have to be a little bit more vigilant about who we let around us and when we let them and what levels we let them.
So let me ask you this, because they're both, I believe, under 30 or very early into their 30s. Do
This
you
is
think it's
something-
fair to give them that space for that?
Yes, because when you are aware, like Jonathan Majors appears to be aware, he's very self-aware. Just by the way he's talking, so you are aware that you have a lot to lose. When you have that type of self-awareness, you tend to make better choices of who you're dating, and you tend to screen better. Because I too am self-aware. So I'm looking at you, and I'm not just about to let no riffraff just come around me and mess up what I have going on, because anything could happen, and like we're seeing. So make better choices, and you don't have to deal with stuff like this. And if it's that hard up, then just find somebody that you can have an arrangement with that comes over in the middle of the night if you feel like you need, have some needs that you need to fulfill, and stay by yourself so you don't even have to worry about cleaning up or monitoring nobody or worrying about nobody embarrassing
And
you.
how they act.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel you with that.
And smart choice, going to somebody who understands what you're going through. Another actress that's black. Nobody gets it like that. Stay over there. This is your show, not mine.
You finish your thought.
I just think that people in Hollywood that are black need to date other black people who understand the struggle and the whole cultural aspect of the picture, because he says something very specific. What I'm building for the culture, who I am for the culture. He's aware. And if you are aware like that, you know what the culture is also saying about you by dating outside the race.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. And what I will say is, oftentimes, he made it a point to try and keep her low. She was at some premieres, but she wouldn't necessarily be on the carpet with him. They would, be separately. He didn't get filmed with her a great deal.
And shouldn't.
So
stay good. When
we come forward, we'll have more on this trending topic. Plus, we'll get into some of these comments in the YouTube chat. And I have lots more topics to cover, because it's what happens sometimes.
Yes.
Who wants a slow week before Christmas? Nobody, right?
Is Christmas next week?
No.
I thought we had 2
weeks.
Okay.
But
you speeding it up. I'm like, wait a minute. I haven't even done my lightweight shopping.
Yeah. That's what online's for.
I'm only buying my grandma a gift.
When we come forward, more trending topics, more headlines. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The Lee County NAACP in Florida is speaking out against a deadly police-involved shooting earlier this month. The organization filed a civil rights complaint saying a black man was wrongfully shot and killed by a Fort Myers officer at his home on December 1st. Police say the sister of 57-year-old Christopher Jordan called 911, telling them her brother was threatening her with a gun. While trying to get Jordan out of the home, an officer reportedly shot and killed him through a window. The NAACP wants the officer to resign and a federal investigation into what happened. Oprah Winfrey's portrait is on display at the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. Chicago-based artist Sean Michael Warren painted the full-length artwork. She's shown wearing a floor-length purple gown and holding an olive branch on her estate in Montecito, California. The iconic talk show host attended the unveiling ceremony in the museum's courtyard. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Jet what you really want this holiday. The experience of a crowd-free private terminal at Burbank Airport. Check in 20 minutes before takeoff and land in hotspots like Denver, Boulder, Las Vegas, and more. Depart from the ordinary now with JSX Air.
It's the gift-giving season, and we have a gift for you. Visit us online at KBLA.store for holiday savings of 20% off all of our KBLA swag. For the best in merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store right now. And be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all our official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580, at 20% off, but only during the holiday season. Happy holidays.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Today, young adults face big questions about their future. How will you make your mark? Do you want to be part of something bigger than yourself? Are you ready to learn new skills and make new friendships? Perhaps you have a dream that you're ready to make real. So, how will you make a mark with your future? As you embark on a journey toward finding these answers, the military can serve as a resource for providing help, information, and opportunities. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit today'smilitary.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Day one, the hardest day. The day you hear,
"This is a type of blood cancer."
But day one is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
To learn more and get help on day 2, day 28, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Teachers are dynamic leaders shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org. supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The flow will break you down.
Bet the flow will break you down.
The flow will break you down.
Bet the flow will break you down.
The flow will break you down.
Bet the flow will break you down.
The flow will break you down.
Bet the flow will break you down.
The flow will break you down.
I get so busy on the mic with my rhythmic flows that's bound to leave your brain when it gets exposed. Cause the way I could display my style is wicked. So run up to your counters and go and get your tickets. I know you got dreams of roasting me hot, but I got flavor like that candy in your grocery shop. The dramatical, craftmatical, soul fanatic, an addict with the crazy flow that's automatic. Throwing lightning bolts from the sky like Zeus, an old schooler who drops mathematics like a ruler or protractor. You don't have no actor. Hang with me, cause with this thing you see I'm no actor. The shit is real, home slice. So bring your own dice so we can roll. Win or lose, I'm taking all your gold. Punch you in your eye and come raid your town with a sound full of spunk. Yes, we break it down, cause it's down.
The flow will break you down.
The flow will break you down.
Welcome back into hour 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. We are talking Jonathan Majors and his girlfriend Grace, the alleged domestic violence. Is that what you call it? The domestic violence accusation trial? How do you term that? Well, it's happening in New York.
A crazy lady that's unhinged on the move of the streets of New York trying to take down a black man. Another intricate plot to stick somebody for his paper.
Or that. Kendi says in the chat, that's just his personality. Maybe they're a bad match, but a personality clash isn't illegal. Thomas Outlaw says, Jonathan Majors was talking on a Papa Pope type pace, almost Shakespearean and audacious. There was a little boldness to him. Mm-hmm. I felt it was very. Now, here's the thing. It did sound very daddy-ish, and I do not want my mate to speak to me as if I am the child and they are the sensible adult.
You know, I was listening to him talk, and I was like, this man is he's a little touched. You can tell that he likes to control. You know what? And I was listening.
They both seem to have a little bit of that drama.
You know what he was giving me? He was giving me Virgo energy. What's his sign?
Let's look. Let's Google. I don't think he's a Virgo, though. Let's see. Jonathan.
What is it?
You knew that. You're a liar. You do.
I don't like being called liars on in front of people. I'm over here. I'm trying to respond to this Fahima comment.
So his birthday is September 7th, 1989.
Oh, he's real Virgo. You know, because when he was talking, I said, this seems very familiar. It's very Virgo energy.
Oh, you dealt with that type of energy before. That's why you could call it out.
That's why I said Virgo energy, because that's how Virgos talk to you. That's how Virgo men talk to you.
Like they're your daddy.
Like they are your daddy, yes. Because they know what's best for you. So they have to speak with authority and confidence.
Isn't that a little bit like gaslighting?
Well, there's a very fine line between gaslighting, because what did Jonathan make? Everything that he said was kind of accurate and kind of true. So there was a point to what he was saying. He knows what's best, so we're gonna go with it.
But I do think that they have a little toxicness to the situation. It was also revealed that in September of 2022, so just last year, there was a text exchange between the two of them that was admitted, and according to new evidence, he threatened suicide because of, well, you're not supposed to say that word anymore. He threatened to unalive himself based off of an argument that they were having. So to me, that just seems like a couple that gets embroiled in the drama. You know, everything is epic and sweeping and just a lot.
You know, I hate to keep generalizing because I have to be very careful about my fake. It's first of all, let me just clear this up. My Virgo slander is pseudo. It's not real. But Virgos have a lot of passion in relationships. They don't display the passion. The passion of the display only comes out during fits of rage as such. Otherwise, it's contained. It's surface. It's very calm. But when it's time to battle, oh yeah, the Shakespearean drama, it flares up in sometimes toxic ways.
Well, this certainly
But
seems to be.
it's just passion. That's all it is.
Do you think some people owe him some sort of apology?
Of course they do, because they always jump. Oh, it's the angry black man. They do it all the time without knowing the facts. And thank God there was a video, because oftentimes we know that black men get charges trumped up on them and lies and all these things. And it's a money grab. And sometimes people just have to end up settling. So, we won't ever find out the case, of what actually happened. So it can go either way. But, I just felt when I saw this, I was like, it didn't make sense to me. Fighting in the back of a cab, like, who is doing that? Like that, it didn't make sense to me.
Well, it did make sense to me when they said she grabbed his phone. That is usually one of the things that you don't need to know any further context,
Yeah, so when it all came out, I was like, they just scrapping. They scrapping. So if something happened, it was weird to me, and it just didn't make sense. And I knew that he wasn't the aggressor in the situation. I just felt it, because it just didn't make sense. You, as a grown man, you ain't about to start no fight in the back of a cab with a woman.
It was an SUV.
A car service. You're not doing it.
I mean, but passionate.
Men usually wait till they get in confined settings for that.
Especially
a
confined setting?
No, private. Let me take that back. A confined private setting, like your closet, for example, where you pass out and go to sleep, like she did.
Well, Fahima says apparently Jonathan Majors was consulting with Olivia Pope all along.
Only if Columbus Short was consulting with Olivia Pope.
Urban Spinster says one person needs to have a stable job with health care benefits. You see what happens when there is a strike. Ain't no money coming in a house in a house of actors that are A-level, or that are, I think she meant that aren't A-level. But well, SAG has health care benefits.
They do.
I mean, I understand your point, but listen, you got to take your pros with your cons, because there is going to be a problem no matter what. If you get with, let's say a 9-to-5er, and let's say they're an executive VP or something for their company, your hours are going to be different. If you have to go to set for 3 months, are they going to be okay with that? Can they adapt? You know what I mean?
It's hard dating somebody like that. And, a lot of the times when I say civilians just don't get it. And you have to really date somebody that gets it, who understands it, and is not going to be like freaked out. And I don't know. It takes a really confident person on both sides to date somebody in this industry. Or anybody, and and when I say industry, it doesn't even have to be in front of the camera, because you still have got camera people, you've got set workers, writers, who are all on set for 12, 13 hours a day.
So I mean, I guess the bottom line is they were not on the same page,
right,
as far as the future developments of the relationship,
and not only that, she didn't respect the nature of the relationship privacy wise. You can't just, when you're dating somebody high profile, you just can't go out and do civilian stuff. Like, you're not going out to get drunk with your homegirls, and just carrying on like that. You have to act with a certain code of discretion.
Urban Spencer says, my father has been in the industry for over 40 years. My mom was an educator, but look at Common and Tiffany, never in the same place. Common, like the rapper Common Sense, and Tiffany Haddish?
Aren't they broken up?
They are. Common is with Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the best example, because Tiffany appears, at least, to potentially have some issues around alcohol. We know that she recently got an additional DUI. She has been allegedly
Oh,
dropped from the Kevin Hart
this is
special.
a second one, a second DUI.
Hmm.
I thought this is a new one that happened.
No, this is the one that happened on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So.
I thought it was another one after that.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
wait,
no, no,
wow.
no, no. There was one before that that was in Atlanta a couple months ago, and then this most recent one on Thanksgiving, which has caused Kevin to drop her from his comedy special.
But what's going on with the fact that you have to be drinking and driving? Like, what kind of pressure are you under? What type of stress is happening? See, I'm always about like, what is the cause of
the root?
What
underlying
is what is the cause of this behavior? Because it's not just I'm out here wilding out, wanting to be rogue and drunk. People just don't do that. There's a reason behind it, and let's get to that and talk about it.
I mean, we'll see. She is probably going to rehab, so maybe she'll have a story or at least one good interview to share with someone when she reemerges. When we come forward, we're going to have more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you a Christmas season that is merry and bright. Happy holidays.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me.
Cover California is a free service from the state that's already helped millions of people like you get and pay for health insurance. With financial help to lower the cost of health coverage, you could get a quality health plan for less than $10 a month. Every plan covers preventive care, doctor visits, emergency care, and more. If you have questions, we're here to help every step of the way. Cover California, this way to health insurance. Enroll by December 31st at coveredca.com.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save over $40 on a Werner 6-foot stepladder. Was $115, now just $69.98. And there's more. Get up to 30% off select kitchen cabinet orders. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 12/7 through 12/13 on item number 98148. While supplies last. Minimum purchase and exclusions apply. See associate for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, I don't know. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, who, Jonathan and his girl?
Well, in the case. Do you think that since the footage has been released and some of the audio, that it will help like Marvel and Disney refigure out what they're gonna do as far as Loki and Kang?
No,
No, you think he's just done? No recovering?
not even that. I mean,
Not no recovering,
yeah,
but
he'll
you know what I
recover,
mean.
but I think because it's very rare that people, when they withdraw their contracts, they reinitiate them and give them back
Well,
to
they
you.
haven't withdrawn them technically. Things are just in limbo.
Yeah, so that's kind of a positive sign that they're just kind of in limbo, just to see what will happen with this case. But in that instance, he might have a fair shot because you know and it's kind of good to see that, because oftentimes, especially black men, get a rap and people jump to conclusions without waiting for the facts. So at least we kind of have the facts. Now we have a tape. We see that he was not trying to engage, and he was in fact trying to get away and secure himself, so he wouldn't further damage the situation.
Escalate.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because he did do the things that we talk about, like, oh, well, you could, gently push her away from you. You
Sure.
could run.
Yep.
You could, and it still wound up, even though he called police and so forth, it still wound up
Hmm.
with him in handcuffs. So do you think that because he seemingly did all the right things, do people look at that and feel like, well, what's the point?
Of course, that's why they never call in the first place. 9 times out of 10, black folks is not calling the police in certain situations. And I think and it gets very interesting, because when you are somebody of power and privilege and access, you tend to want to do things the right way and in order. And that involves sometimes calling the law. And you are swiftly reminded that just because you have access and privilege and money and people know who you are, it does not excuse you in all cases from being locked up in handcuffs. And again, because this is a very interesting case with a young non-black woman in New York, we already know how this is going to go. With the public
You think
opinion.
he's going to be convicted, or are you speaking of
No,
the
no, no.
public
I'm
opinion?
speaking about the police in this instance. They saw a young white woman who was crying. He hit me. They see a tall black man. He's aggressive. Of course, we know how this goes down. So they jump to the conclusion, and now it's this. So it's like it's not what you think it is. So now we've got this magical tape that is going to vindicate him in a lot of ways, and it's going maybe provide him some recourse about more than just what we getting off the hook.
So, from your opinion,
Yeah.
how would you, if we could retroactively go back and discuss this case when it came out, or even as, some of the details where people were still like, what kind of lawyer you got? They out here messing up. How do you think that we can begin to introduce conversations that encourage, perhaps? Because I do understand the need to protect victims, witness intimidation, things of that nature, especially when you're dealing with someone who has more money, more notoriety, all of that. It puts you most certainly at a disadvantage. But where is the line, the fine line, that allows people to wait for the context of the situation to come out before automatically jumping to take either side, you know?
That's not ever going to happen, because it's the court of public opinion. So people are always going to rush. People are always going to put their 2 cents in. And when you're presented with something right in front of you, you just respond right there, because you really don't know the facts. And even as they come out, people change their mind as the wind blows. So it's like you have one opinion here, and it's going to change the more that you find out. I just knew right away. I was like, no, there's like, no one is doing this in the back of a car.
Listen, Shannon in the chat says, oh, he ran all right in dress shoes and no socks. She chased him all through New York. They were caught on every camera. He's going to get off.
I love it. Shout out to Shannon Thompson. Happy Sagittarius season.
It is Sagittarius season. Pretty Brown Mimi says, men can be community and it's cool. So Common isn't a never mind. Well, we talked about that. Yeah, everybody, Common. Used to say back in the day. I used to make a joke, and Common, if you're listening, it's just that, a joke. Laugh. Common was the welcoming of Black Hollywood, a rite of passage for Black actresses.
I can see that, and it makes total sense because he's a Pisces. He's a part of the welcoming committee.
So
That's my birthday twin, actually.
he's gonna make sure to spread love, spread it around.
Yeah, he loves love, and he wants to give it to everybody because he's got so much to give. Just like a Pisces.
Just like a Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean there's no settling down in his future?
That's not true. You can settle down.
We're not asking any questions.
You shouldn't.
We're just gonna keep it rolling.
You can settle down.
Okay. Well, in unsettling things, Cardi B and Offset, Cardi confirmed on Sunday that she and Offset are not together at the moment. No one's mentioned divorce filings. No divorce filings have come up on any of those, little secret spaces. But friends, sources are alleging, tell us something we don't know, that they're tumultuous. Figured that. And that, they've broken up and gotten back together more times than the public would be aware. Figured that as well.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, because she finally worked her nerve up to basically say, we're not together right now, do you think that she will go the extra mile and try and stick this out? Or do you think that they will have more of their paces? Because here's the thing. I feel like when you're married, you are supposed to take that extra step. The vows say for better or for worse. Obviously, there is two worser. I don't know. Is worser a word? No. Worst. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Sure, we got his birthday party this weekend.
Okay. Where's that? Atlanta, LA? Where? What are we doing?
Probably all of them.
Okay. Well, listen, Fahima in the chat says, it's been working all along. The chat just dropped. Cheryl Lee Ralph and her husband, who is a politician. I guess that's in reference to what type of couplings celebrities, actors and actresses should be dating as far as their relationships. Potentially with anyone, it could be difficult and complicated. You need someone that is secure of self.
Yes.
Mature.
Yes.
And knows how to move in a room full of vultures.
Very much so.
But,
And it has to be devastating to find all those things and then it still doesn't work out.
Man, let down. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics, more headlines. Matthew Knowles, his memoir is being turned into a film and limited TV series.
Oh, Matthew,
are we going to see Lil Beyonce running around in it? We're also going to talk a little bit about Nicki Minaj's comments that the industry has just been trying to make duplicates for her, but none of these chicks can rap.
But she's a duplicate. What is she even talking about?
All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I got secrets, but I don't know, like Yoko. I'm changing visions, blurry, so call me. I'm Quasimodo, yo, I'll switch up. With or without the hiccups, that's MCs quickly pick up. Then my freaks, my fool sticks out on the microphone, yo, creep it. And I freaks it, freaks it. When I freaks it with my drunken tech.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black information.